Welcome to my tutorial making Tableau Portfolio project. I'm Jahid Rajan. One of the great ways you can build your Tableau Portfolio projects is to imitate the masters. This is a wonderful way to learn the best practices and develop the right muscles. Here is a dashboard from Priya. I will show you 6 reasons why this is a great dashboard, and in the subsequent videos I will show you how to rebuild this dashboard. So let's start. First, this dashboard is very uncluttered, very clear and clean. This draws the attention of the users immediately. So this is a great quality of any dashboard. So the dashboard has a clearly stated title, and it make use of the divider line very strategically that separates the title from the rest of the dashboard. It shows the timeline of the data that is used. Number 3, one of the fundamental principles of making a dashboard is to show the users the overview first and details on demand. By that what I mean, here you can see she has made use of the big text numbers, revenue, reservation, number of guests, etc. This shows the context. If you go on the top and select one of the options from the filter, hit the apply button, it impacts all the visual. So this is a great way for the users to explore the data further. Number 4, she has made use of the most common chart types, which are line chart, area chart, bar chart, donor chart. Number 5, she has made the great use of colors. As you can see here, gray, white. She has highlighted the top of the category using blue. So this immediately draws the attention. Number 6, she has made use of the borders and spacing. This dashboard has a lot of breathing space for the users. She has used spacing between the title and the rest of the dashboard, also spacing among the visuals of the dashboard. So use of spacing is a great way for any dashboard to make it uncluttered and user-friendly. Throughout the dashboard, she has consistently used titles and all upper cases. Remaking this kind of dashboard can be very rewarding experience. It's very important to understand why a dashboard is great and what are the qualities we can learn from here. I hope you recognize this is a great dashboard and join me to remake this dashboard. So the first step is to connect to the data. I'll click the connect to data option and choose the text file because I know my file is a CSV file, which is a type of text file. So now I have the data. Let's take a look at the type of data. Here I see the average room rate. So this is the cost of the room. I have the reservation ID, when the guest checked in, how long they stayed, the number of adult and children, the type of room, whether it has a special request or not, which channel they used for booking, the reservation status, whether it was an advanced booking or not, which property was it, and it shows the date, rate type, which is weekday or weekend, so whether it is a weekday rate or weekend rate. Let's go to the sheet 1 and start preparing the KPIs. So the first KPI we want to prepare is the revenue. I will create a calculated field. I can calculate the revenue, which is basically the cost for a guest. So a guest is charged for the staying duration multiplied by the average room rate. So I have the revenue. I can just make it. So let's take a look at it. Seems that it's working. Let's just make all capital case. So I have the revenue. Next, let's just calculate the number of reservation. I'll create another calculated field called reservations. So if I count the distinct number of reservation IDs, now I get the number of reservation. I could just count, assuming that all reservation IDs are unique. That would also do the job. However, I'm just making a distinct count to make sure that if a reservation ID is present twice, I can just count it once. So now I'm going to drag and drop here to see if it's working. I see it's working. I'm going to do the number of guests count. So if I count the number of children and add the number of adults, the guests, if I just drag and drop this field, it will be summed automatically. So I have the number of guests. Now I need to find the average cost per night. So average cost is basically if I get the total cost and divide it by the total number of staying duration. Recalculate the revenue, which is, I can just say sum of staying duration multiplied by cost, which is the average room rate. Now I want to divide this by sum of staying duration. So I have the average cost per night, and I want to also calculate the average duration. So average duration of staying, I just name it average duration and days. So I need to calculate, I need to get it using the average function. So if I take the average of staying duration, I have the average duration days. I'll just drag and drop. So I have all the KPIs. I will make it a table. Now I want to use the measure names as well, the text, and I will take the measure names in the column. So now I have this tabular format. Let's make it entire view, and I will reformat the text, bring the numbers to the middle. I do not need this header here since I have them already here. So I'll just hide the header, and I will format the text. Bring the field name at the beginning and make the numbers 22. The heading to 10. I will change the color to this. Apply. Okay, so let's just organize them a little bit. So I'll bring the revenue at the beginning, and then number of reservations second, number of guests, and I have the average cost per night, average duration. So I will just reformat the numbers. Since this is revenue, I will make it currency, and I will make it million, 1 decimal place. Number of reservation, I'll make it 2000. So I'll format it. It's a number. I will make the display unit K, 1 decimal point. I'll also make the guest as 1000. So I will customize the number and make it to 1 decimal point. Average cost, I will make it a currency and 2 decimal point. So I will make it a currency, 2 decimal point, and make the average duration days as decimal point. So make it 1 decimal. So now I have the KPIs. I will just get rid of the header. Okay. And I will also get rid of this line. So I'll click format. I'll go here and I will make row divider pane none. So now I have the KPIs. I will just rename this sheet as KPI. Next, we will plot the revenue trend over time. So I'm just preparing the sheet revenue. So now let's calculate the revenue and the reservation trend. You can see here in the original dashboard there's the revenue and this is the reservation trend. So you'll make a dual chart. So this is a combination of a line graph and a area graph. I will bring the revenue in the rows and the date in the column. I'm right clicking it. So I'm right clicking the mouse and drag and drop the date. I'll select the continuous month. So now I have the trend. I will copy. So I'm just using the control key, holding the sum of the revenue and making a copy of it. So now I have the copy of the revenue. I will select an area chart. So now I have the revenue. To bring them on the same axis, I will right click and make it dual axis. And here I see the axis goes up to 12 million, here also 12, but just to make sure they're same, I will synchronize the axis. Now I have both the axes showing the same numbers. To make it like the original quiz, I'm just going to edit the axis. I'm going to go to the tick marks and make it fixed. I will show 2 months. So I'm taking interval of 2 months, and I forgot to take the axis title. I don't need it, so I'm removing it. Now I have it. Let's format the month, making it customized. I will go to the format option here and make it M, which indicates a short version of the month. Now I have it for the 4 months. And if you are wondering why it just shows from January to September, this is because you can also see it from here. The max date is let's just create a calculated field showing the last date, which is the October. And if you also see the earliest date, you have to take the min function. So this is the first date we have. So this data set continues from the 1st of January to 28th of October. And you can see here after September we have some data for the month of October. Let's get rid of, so we don't need this calculation. This is just for demonstration purpose. I'm getting rid of them. And now I don't need to show this header. I'm hiding it. Also, I don't need to show here the header. Now let's show the value here. I'm bringing it to the level. Now I just want to show the most recent and this one. So I will show mark level, always show. So this way I can just select a point, and if I just select always show, it will just show that for that specific point. I want to show a number at the beginning and number at the end. And now let's format it to currency and million. So I want to make the display unit million, and I want to make it one decimal point. Okay, so now I do not need these horizontal lines. Let's clean it a little bit more. Format, and I'm going to these lines. I do not need these grid lines here. And let's get rid of the divider pane. I do not need the row divider pane here, and I'm also getting rid of the column divider pane. Okay, so let's bring the level to the middle. So I'm selecting top right, so this I have it, I can bring it to the middle. So this one is for the position on the top, and this is in the middle. Now I have, let's change the color. This looks something like this. Okay, and same for the area. However, let's make it a little lighter. I take it 22, and I have the, so now I have the revenue chart. Let's just rename it. Let's make it revenue. Let's bring it to the middle. Apply. So I have the revenue. Let's rename it to number 1 to indicate this is the sheet number 1, sheet 2. So now we have the revenue. We can actually make use of this same revenue sheet to show the trend of reservation. So let's just duplicate it and make it 3 reservations. This way I will save some time that takes for formatting. So I will bring the reservations here. Okay, another reservation here. Getting rid of the revenues. Make the one below as area chart. Dual axis. I'll synchronize the axis and then get rid of the axis. I'll do the same here. Okay, and I will show the number of reservation. I just want to show on in the end, and this one I will select. I will manually select which one to show, and finally I will just make it as 1000. So I'll go here, customize the number, display the unit, make it 1 decimal point, and maybe bring the level here on the top middle. So middle, I bring it middle, and this is top, this is middle. Okay, so now I have the reservation, right? So I will just click the title and rename it as reservations. I will use some space. Okay, so now I have the revenue trend, the reservation trend. Next up, we will calculate the room type. So let's take a look at the original visual here. See the room type. It shows the among the reservation which room types were booked how many times along with the percentage. There is this nice trick done here. We see that the highest values are highlighted in blue to show emphasis. So we will do the same. Let's go and bring the room type here. Okay, let's make it uppercase as shown in the visual. This you can do using the upper function. And now let's bring the reservations here. We have a bar chart showing the type of room and the number of booking. So let's sort it and make it entire view. To show the number, let's bring the aggregation on the level It shows how many times each room type was booked. And let's hide the label. Now to calculate the percentage, let's copy it and put it in the detail shelf. Then right click, go to the quick table calculation, percentage of total. To see if it's working, let's drag and drop to the level shelf. So we see that it's working. So you can just get rid of the detail shelf and format the label. Let's bring everything left aligned, show the number first, and then in the same row using show the percentage, and we use a pipe character in between. Let's make the color black, font size 8. Okay, and let's align it to the left. And then let's make the format to 1000. So now we have the number shown in thousands. Let's do the same for percentage. So let's format it, make the percentage 1 decimal point. Okay, now to show the max, we need to make use of the window max function. So let's go here, create calculated field. Let's show window max. We want to get the maximum value for all the reservation. Okay, so let's just name it window max. Now we want to highlight whenever the value of the reservation equal to window max. What this does, whenever this condition is true, it gives me a true value, or otherwise it gives me a false value. We want to use it for the color. Let's just write it max color. Okay, now let's drag and drop it to the color. We see here for the max case, whenever it's true, we get the orange color or one color, and for all the others the condition is false, we get a different color. So let's make the bar size a little smaller, and let's change the color. I will make the true, so I will go to the color blind and use this light blue color whenever it's true, and whenever it's false we'll use the gray color. We do not need this x-axis, so I'm hiding it, and let's fix the title. Okay, let's get rid of these vertical lines. So I'll go here and make these column grid lines none, and I will go to format. Let's make the axis ruler a bit more prominent here. So now I have the room type. Let's go back to the original visual, and let's channel. This one is a little trickier, I'll show you why, but let's reuse the room type to calculate the reservation status. Okay, maybe let's just duplicate it and delete this one, use it reservation status. So let's bring the reservation status here and get rid of the room type. Now we see that the value is already, everything is there. Let's hide this card. Again, let's hide this card. And you have the reservation, the revenue. We see one, we missed out something here. Let's just go here and make this light blue, make this one 21 like we did last time. Okay, so now we have the reservation status. Next up, we will do this calculation for channels. However, for the channels, we just need to show the numbers, not the percentage, and we want to show the bar values on the top. Now let's bring the booking channel here, and to show the values on top of each bar, just like this one, we need to make use of the window max function. And if you see here, all the values, all these small bars or thin bars having the same value. So for the entire channels, we have a single window max value, right? So to show what I mean here, let's bring the window max and let's make it a table. We see here that the window max function shows just a single value here. So let's bring the booking channel here and window max here, and let's make it swap rows and make the bar size really thin like this. And then let's also bring another reservation here, but in this case we go for the bar wider. Okay, let's make them enter view and let's make them dual axis. We need this bar, and this one need to be also bar. Okay, let's sort it, and we see here, let's make the bigger bar also using the max color. Now we have the max color. Let's make use of, for the true, we go back to our colorblind palette, and for the false, okay, for these ones let's make everything gray. So let's go to our colorblind palette, apply. Okay, maybe we actually can use the max color function here. Okay, so we see as soon as we use that, this bar vanishes. Exactly, that's what we want, because this is also a blue bar, very thin. We can see it if we remove this one. Let's undo it, and now let's synchronize the axis here. Okay, let's just drag and drop the value on the top of the bar, and maybe on the smaller bars here. Okay, and make them number and make them display unit K, make it 1 decimal point. We do not need to show this axis. Let's make the booking channel uppercase using the upper function. You see that the function is not responding. If we make them upper function, let's try again. Let's make the window max here, and so it can happen if we make a change afterwards. So let's just make them thin and make use of the max color here. Same goes for, let's bring the max color here. Now let's make it dual axis. Let's just go here, don't need it. Okay, so now we have the bars ready. Let's get rid of the headers, also hide the field, and let's show the values on the top. Maybe let's just show it on the top right, and we can just make this bar, top bar, little thinner, just like this. So let's get rid of these vertical lines using the format. So we do not want these grid lines. Okay, also let's get rid of the column divider pane and the row divider pane. Let's use axis ruler. Okay, so now we have the channels. Let's fix the title to channels. Let's hide the legend. So if we go back to our original visual, we have the channels and all the numbers on the top. Next up, we will prepare the last visual, which is the pie chart. So in the pie chart, it shows the percentage of advance booking and the bookings that are not made advance. What is the ratio? So let's go to our visual. I think this is in the advance booking. Yes, so in the advance booking field, it shows whether it's an advance booking or not. So to make a pie chart, we have to find a trick. Let's make an average 0. Okay, now this is a calculated field. I will just make it circle and make it entire view and make the size a little bigger. Okay, now I will bring the advanced booking in the color and bring the number of booking instead of okay, so let's make it pi, and let's bring the reservation for the angles. Now we see here, this is the reservation 82,000 for the advance booking, and these are the reservations when there was no advance booking. We can just make the color whenever. So let's go back to our color blind palette. When it's yes, we use the blue. When it's no, we use the gray. Okay, now if we can just hide the middle part of this pie chart, then we have a donut chart. Maybe another calculated field, the same one, average of 0. Okay, now this one, let's make the size smaller, maybe a little bit bigger, and we do not need anything on this one, just the color. Let's make the color like this. Okay, and let's make it dual axis. Okay, now this one, let's make it white. Okay, and let's increase the size. Okay, now we can actually make this size a little smaller, and this one obviously a lot more smaller. Okay, now we can show the value of reservation also in the level, and to calculate the percentage, let's bring it to the detail shelf using the same trick of quick table calculation, percentage of total, and then show it on the level, and then let's format the level. We can just show them side by side using a pipe character, and we can also show the level, and let's bring whether advanced booking or not, right? And let's see our original visual. So they use a pipe character, they do not show the number. So let's go here, and I have got rid of the numbers. I just have the percentages now. Okay, so now I think our visual is ready. We just need to format it. We do not want any grid lines, and let's get rid of the row and column dividers. In the sheet, we do not need these divider lines. Also don't need the 0 line here. Let's get rid of the axis. Okay, and let's fix the title advanced booking, apply. Okay, so now we have all the visuals and we are ready to make the dashboard. Before we start preparing our dashboard, let's take a look at the original dashboard to understand what kind of container we need to use. We see that we basically have 4 rows, one on the top that contains the title, KPIs, the row that contains revenue, room type and channel visuals, and then one on the bottom. So we will use 4 horizontal containers, and then we will also insert some other containers inside those horizontal containers. We see that revenue, room type and channels, they are next to each other, so we will renumber them as this is the visual number 1 KPI, revenue would be 2, room type would be 3 and channels would be 4, likewise 5, 6, 7. So I have already renumbered them. You can see here revenue, room type, channel, reservation, booking and reservation status. So let's now start preparing our dashboard. We need to go to the dashboard tab here. Let's start with the floating container, but first let's delete the phone layout and fix the size. Make the weight 1200, height 800. Now let's go to the vertical container. Bring a floating vertical container and go to the layout. Just make X position 0, Y 0. This will bring the container to the top left. And let's make the weight 1200, height 800. Let's bring a tile blank page. This will work as a placeholder, and we will also use that to make this horizontal line across the dashboard. So here is the blank sheet, and then let's bring 4 horizontal containers. One on the top, one below the blank sheet, 2, 3, and 4. I have all the 4 horizontal containers. Let's resize the horizontal container on the top. This we will use for the title. So title is a text. To insert a text, we need a text box. I'm dragging and dropping a text box, and I will copy paste the title. I have already typed it to save some time. This is the blank sheet. We'll make use of it to make it a line across the dashboard. So to do that, we have to make the outer padding 0 because padding already takes some space inside. So let's make the padding 0, and let's fix the height. Edit height and make it 2. Now it's a thin line. Let's make the background gray. So we have this line now. Now we can bring the KPIs here. So let's just select the KPI sheet, drag and drop. So we have the KPIs. Let's get rid of the title and adjust the width. So we have all the KPIs here. Here is the horizontal container. We will use this to insert visual number 2, 3 and 4. So let's place a blank box inside. This will work as a placeholder. Now let's bring visual 2. Let's bring 3 and then let's bring 4. We do not need this box anymore. Let's get rid of it. To make the visuals equal in size, so let's go to this horizontal container and select distributes content evenly. This will make the visuals of equal size. Let's do the same for the horizontal container at the bottom. Let's bring a blank sheet, adjust the size, and then let's bring visual number 5, 6 and 7. We do not need this empty box anymore. We can remove this blank sheet. Now to make the visuals equal, Let's go to the horizontal container that contains the 3 visuals on the bottom. Right click, distribute contents evenly. Now we have the visuals. We also have a filter on the top in the original visuals, which is the property. So let's go and bring a horizontal container. Let's place it here. Readjust the size of the title. In the room type page, we see the property filters. So let's go to the room type visual, select it, go to the filter and select property. So the filter has appeared on the top. Let's change the filter type, make it multiple values drop down, and go to the customize option, show apply button. And then we will fix the font, make all capital, bring it to the middle. Now we need to apply this filter for all the visuals, because if we go to our original visual, we see that these filters are basically impacting all the visuals. So let's go back and apply to worksheet. Then we have to choose the option selected worksheet, and we want to apply it for all on the dashboard. So let's select the option select all on dashboard. Okay, and then we see if we select the chord, we have the apply button, and it does impact all the visuals in the dashboard. So let's go back to all, apply. The next thing for us is to adjust the borders. Let's start from the top. This is the vertical container that contains everything. So let's make the size a little bigger. And here's the vertical container. Let's give a border around it. So you can see here, there's an outer border. The next thing for us, adjust the space around each visuals. Let's just fix it. Okay. So we see quite some spacing in between. Also there is some space in between the horizontal line and the KPIs. We can make use of another blank sheet to do that. So here is the space. Now let's select the top vertical container here. Let's make the background light gray. Create some space between the horizontal line on the top and the KPIs. We need to place a horizontal container in between. So let's place it here. Now it has covered our KPI. So we need to readjust the size a little bit. You see that? Let's readjust the KPI size and the other visual size. So now we have some space. Let's now readjust the spacing in between. So let's select the revenue visual and first make the background white. Let's do the same for all other visuals. I'm just selecting the visual and make the background white. Let's select the KPI visual, make the outer padding 10. Okay. Now let's go to the horizontal container that contains revenue, channels, and room type. Let's start with the revenue, make the outer padding 10, channel, make the outer padding 10, and room type, let's make the outer padding also 10. Let's select the revenue visual, uncheck all sides equal, and then let's make the left side 15. We'll also adjust the top KPI visual, and for this one also let's uncheck all sides equal, make the right side 15. Now let's go to the KPI again and uncheck all side equal box, make left 15, make right spacing 15. Okay, so now we have a little more space on the left and the right. Let's go for the other visuals, do the same exercise. First, let's make everything 10 and all sides are equal. And now let's make the left side 15 and then let's select the room type visual and make the right side 15. So here we have the dashboard. Now let's maybe also adjust the bottom spacing, make the bottom 15 for all the visual, uncheck it, make the bottom border 15 to enhance the space a little bit more. Okay, so now we have the visual ready. Let's check it out. And obviously if you want to give credit to the original visual maker, in this case this is Priya, so let's bring another horizontal container below and you have to insert a text box inside, and I'm just copy pasting it, my name, and linking the dashboard that I took inspiration from. And then here is this box I don't need. This is our dashboard. If we look again, we have created this dashboard. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please let me know how did you find it, and if you have any feedback, please don't forget to subscribe my channel so that you can keep getting the videos I upload and the next portfolio projects in Tableau.